Hello.
Hey there.
Hi. Whenever you said Zoom, I was like, I haven't even put on any makeup. I'm having a makeup-free day today.
Well,
I was
so
like,
am I. So don't feel
thinking
bad.
about Twitter. Can't hear you, Martina. I can't hear anybody. Can anybody hear me?
Well, I'm not talking, and I hear you beautifully.
Oh, I can hear you, John.
Very good.
I can't hear Martina.
I see Anna's lips moving, but I do not hear any voice.
Yeah. I can hear you, Tom.
Yeah, Anna, we're not hearing you at all. Nor are we hearing Martina. No,
John, thinking we couldn't hear you either.
that's because I was messing with people and actually just lip syncing. So
Anna is still talking, but I can't hear anything from her.
but this Tom, we've got three of us. Anna, no, we can't hear you at all. Not a bit.
We can't hear Martina.
Nor Martina. Oop. She just gave up, I guess. So,
Maybe she's going to reconnect.
perhaps. So
Maybe it's something to do with Anna's microphone.
yeah, maybe. I mean, there's so many different ways that so many different things that can go sideways in these calls. So
Problem. Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes,
That's
we can hear you
lovely.
now.
Okay, yeah, somehow my speaker, something had turned off. So hopefully Martina will join us.
I'd say she'll try and just reconnect.
Yes, hopefully. Sometimes it's just a connection. Who knows? Who knows? But
Who
Lynne and
knows?
Martina, gentlemen, Lynne and Martina are Pepper Hustle. And they joined us. Are you in Dublin or where are you?
We're in Waterford, so down the southeast of Ireland.
Okay.
It's a sunny southeast, but I'm not so sure.
Yes, south. Yes, I don't think I ever made it to Waterford when I was there. But yeah, this was, let's see, Martina is back. Let's see if we can get her to get some sound with us. So I wanted to jump. I don't know how long Lynne and Martina can stay. Okay, Martina, try again.
Can you guys hear me?
Yay!
Yay, we got it. Woo! Gotta
Awesome.
love technology. Technology will keep us all busy into forever centuries. So I wanted to dig right into. Okay, I'm hearing some
Feedback.
feedback. Is there anybody else hearing that?
Yeah.
No, I can't hear any feedback.
Okay, so that well, it's still coming. I'll push through it anyway because I really
Maybe
hear more from you guys than from me.
I'll mute myself. Maybe.
Okay, everybody's muted except Martina, and that got rid of the feedback. Okay, so so my question. So we'll just dig right into the questions because I don't know how long. Martina and Lynne are 6 hours ahead of us, so it's 7 p.m. there. They're probably waiting to eat their dinner, and they've agreed to join us. And but one of the things that I thought was important to talk about is, what are some of the unrealistic expectations people set for themselves when it comes to fitness? And how can we become aware of those so that we can deal with them? So I'm gonna mute myself and let y'all talk.
I think, well, actually, this is an answer that can be literally as important for females and as males as females, like whatever, because it's about what your expectations are in terms of what you want your body to look like. And it's about your projection of yourself against people that you see in social media and magazines that are airbrushed, that are filtered to the life of them, that are at angles that are holding everything in, that are straining muscles, that are just not normal body compositions because of how they're feeding themselves, what extras they're putting into their bodies that might not necessarily be healthy choices. But I think that there's like a massive, there is like a massive issue with comparison of what is actually a real body and what is, I'm going to say, a fictitious body, because they don't exist. Even the male, female athletes, they call themselves athletes, but they're really influencers. They're posed as kind of like fitness experts, but they haven't a clue about, health and fitness from the kind of generic term of it, somebody who has studied it or somebody who understands about the body and the physique. And I think that it is really just about comparing yourselves to others. If you're comparing yourself aesthetically or strength towards, against somebody else, then you're setting yourself unrealistic goals, because we're all different. We all have different body compositions. And what I'm able to achieve physically and aesthetically is going to be different from Martina, from Anna, and what Tom and John together, even if they were doing the same, eating the same foods, doing the same workouts, they would achieve different body shapes, they would achieve different strength results. And I think it's just really about identifying your why, what you're striving for, and is that realistic? Is it a normal person? Is that person airbrushed? Are they eating healthy? Because a lot of, for females, a lot of females strive to be skinny, but they're looking at people who are pretending that they're eating burgers or pretending that they have ice cream, twice in the weekend, but actually they're not. They're massively under-eating and over-exercising in order to maintain. And I say maintain, but it's difficult to maintain that unless you are treating your body really badly. And I actually can, and I'm coming from first person point of view on that as well, because I used to massively abuse my body with food, under-eating, over-exercising, because my goal was to be thin. This was, 22 years ago. And it was thin. It was, I wanted to be thin. That was going to be a goal. But actually, as you get older and whenever you go through certain kind of like health issues, and you realize that actually it's not about what you look like. It's about what you feel inside. It's about how your body feels, how well you feel, how strong you are. It doesn't matter if you've got cellulite or if you've got loose skin or, stretch marks, because, males and females can all get cellulite. Males and females have loose skin. Males and females have stretch marks. But females are the only ones that seem to be abusive towards themselves about having, flaws. But these perceived flaws are actually very normal. And they're only perceived flaws because you're comparing yourself to other people out there who, have magic retouching. They have people behind the scenes, blurring out their stretch marks or smoothing out their cellulite. And I think that the moment that something switches inside your brain about, it's not about what you look like, it's about how you feel, the game changes completely for everybody.
Martina, you want to share from your perspective, and then John and Tom, if you guys have something to say, raise your hand. I'm starting to talk like Irish. When I hang around Irish people, I pick up that Irish accent so quick. So please do. It's because I'm a quick study.
Great. Yeah, I completely agree with everything Lynne had said there. And for me, I suppose, and the clients that we have dealt with are so stuck and don't even know where to start.
I think she's having some trouble with her internet. Go ahead, Martina. Is your internet strong? Are you having trouble with your internet over there? Because we've lost you again. Okay, try again. Okay, she's gone. How about you guys? From a man's perspective, what do you see as unrealistic expectations?
Well, and I mentioned, being a lunkhead, right? So a lot of the images that are presented to men, I mean, particularly in the area that is bodybuilders, right? So you see these guys with, they're huge, of course, because they're steroidal monsters, most of them.
Yeah.
But they're also running like 7% body fat, which isn't healthy on the long term. And it's ridiculously hard to do. I've been there once, and I took some pictures and then went and had a sandwich. It's just because it isn't healthy. And it's interesting because I think that while, to your point, like women seem to be, there's a lot more focus on women's body image issues. I think there's kind of a hidden thing with guys where, like, you go to a movie, right? You see like a superhero movie, and all the men are, they're built like bricks and they have six packs, right? So again, it's and you're presented with those images over and over and over again. It's really easy to get tied up in the, well, I haven't seen my abs in 25 years kind of thing, right? Or I have, spaghetti arms or whatever, right? So I think but I also think, like, historically men haven't had, like, our appearance expectations haven't been the same as yours, right? Like, women are expected to look a certain way and be a certain way and that kind of thing. Whereas guys, like, I mean, I woke up like this, right? Somebody, Lynne was saying about like showing up without makeup. Well, yeah, so did I, but it's a little different. So, that's just sort of, that's been my experience. So.
Hey, Tom, what about you? Martina, we'll come back to you in a minute here. Tom?
Well, as I said in the chat, I've never been one to enjoy exercise in any shape or form. On the other hand, I can say with complete honesty, I come from a large family in the sense that everybody's big, and certainly our growing up eating habits and things like that, I'm sure had a factor in that. It's only more recently where you were talking about, regardless of how you look, it's how do you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. I've gotten to a point where I don't feel as healthy as I should. I don't feel, but then again, I was graced with disgustingly good health all along, so it didn't matter. The other comment I'll make is that I was very glad to see the emergence, I think it's about the past year, of the preference for the wonderful dad bod, and I've taken that to an extreme and said, yeah, that's my shape. I'm good with that. So yeah, it's one of those things that, and I've told the story before. I said to my doctor one time that, he said, you need to lose a little bit of weight. And I said, yeah, but you got to understand, doc, there are very few pleasures left in life, and eating is one of them. And he kind of stared at me for a minute, and then he says, there are so many problems with that, I don't know where to start. And that's a true story. But one that's not true, but I always enjoy telling, is the doctor told me that I needed to lose weight or find 2 new friends. And I said, what do you mean 2 new friends? And he said, 6 pallbearers ain't going to cut it. You know, those are the kind of things that rattle in my head when I think about fitness and health and those kind of things. Because, you know, we'll laugh about that pallbearer joke, but there's a point to be made there. And I think it's an important one. So that's kind of it. You see me from the head up. The rest of it is, you know, wide angle lens is necessary to catch the rest of it.
Well, Martina, thank you for coming back. And we still can't, we can't hear you still, my dear. Let me see. If you want to put something in the chat, then Lynne could read it. But I think, you know, it's really funny when I first started dating my husband, speaking to John's point, we went to see a Bruce Lee movie. Now, I'd never seen a Bruce Lee movie in my life, you know, but, you know, you watch him go fan out his muscles and all of this stuff. And I'm like, wow. And I'm just like gawking over this guy on the show. And when we walked out of there, now understand, I was not comparing my husband, well, at that time, my boyfriend, to Bruce Lee. I was just amazed. I'd never seen that before. And I was just thoroughly in awe of this guy who could do all this stuff. I didn't know you could do that. And he walked out and he immediately said, well, I guess I should start hitting the weight bench. And I was like, where'd that come from? And he thought that I thought it was important for him to have a 6-pack and to look like Bruce Lee. And actually, Bruce Lee's body weight he was very, very lean. It was, the guy worked out, 8 hours a day? But, you know, his goal was to be a movie star in the martial arts. So he effectively got what he wanted until he died prematurely. But there is that perception that, you know, to be healthy and fit, you have to have a 6-pack and you have to have bulging muscles for guys. And for women, I was recently watching a movie and I realized this girl was so skinny in the movie. And this was the movie's about 20 years old. So skinny, her collarbones were showing, like sticking through her skin. And, you know, she was wearing one of those low cut dresses, but you could see her ribs going down. And I thought, that doesn't even look healthy. I mean, it doesn't even look like she is healthy. And it just goes to show how our culture sets these expectations, and Hollywood has a great deal of effect on what the perfect person looks like. Even my daughter, who's studying to be a musical theater artist, she's just a little taller than me. Most of the women in our family are much taller because their father's 6'4". And she made a comment yesterday, and I thought, oh, you know, I mean, it wasn't a bad thing, but she said, oh, it's a good thing I'm short, Mom, because it looks better in the movies when a girl is shorter than the actor. The girl is shorter than the male actor. And I thought, oh, I mean, you know, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to spoil her moment there, but I was like, oh, but that is, even the culture we're in says, you know, girls that are taller than guys, there's nothing you can do about it. But girls feel like they shouldn't be taller than guys, and so they want to be shorter, so they'll slouch, you know, stuff like that. There's just so many things that create these unrealistic expectations. So, I mean, ladies, how do we counteract those how do we become aware of those and then work against them? I mean, we have these good-looking gentlemen here, one who's happy with his wide-angle lens, and the other one who doesn't worry about makeup. So, what can we do to become aware of this and then act in a way that's going to bring us to the place of better health? And Martina, you can try. I don't know what to do because you are not muted. So this has been very quiet for Martina. I'm so sorry.
I'll answer, because I mean we both have the same point of view on this anyway, just even from how we kind of run our business. And a lot of people come into our programs and they are wanting to lose weight. They've got a communion, they've got something coming up and they want to lose weight. And as we mentioned previously in the chat, that it's only after they start to work out, they start to move their body, that, as Tom mentioned earlier, they then begin to feel better. And initial drivers are always to lose weight because of expectations that are put on yourself. But I think that a lot of the body issues, and a lot of them are body dysmorphia issues, where people perceive themselves to be heavier than they are, or they're judging themselves through the eyes of other people, is to do with like a confidence. It's to do with confidence within yourself, and it's to do with really what your drivers are in terms of your everyday kind of happiness. That people think that losing weight will make them happy, but it's not that makes them happy. It's the process of bringing, better food, making better choices, more nutrition, better nutritional choices. It's bringing better movement, bringing more movement into your body. Because there's one really interesting thing about food and about fitness. So we all know that when you exercise, the hormones, the happy hormones, serotonin and dopamine, are released in the brain. And there has been recent scientific studies to prove that there are like gut health reactions, where certain food choices and healthier food choices create the same chains, the same protein chain in the stomach, the exact same characteristics as dopamine and serotonin. So there's that gut and it's all of these wee things, like all of these small things. I say wee, but nobody, that's like, I think that's a Northern Irish term for small.
We understand, right, Tom?
You understand. But I think that what happens is that when people have these unrealistic expectations and then they begin the journey, those who expect quick results fall again very quickly because they don't have the patience, they're not consistent, they're not persistent. But those that actually hang in there for the long term, they primarily get to the end result of suddenly forgetting that it was about because they wanted to look a certain way, because they wanted to look like that person in the magazine, or they wanted to look like their best friend who's a completely different height, different breadth, different bone structure, different everything. Because what supersedes that is the actual levels of happiness within themselves and contentment. Because whenever you feel good, guess what? You look good.
It's interesting when you talk about the dopamine and serotonin levels. I used to have this discussion with my trainer. These people, you see them at work and they're like, gee, if I didn't go out and run 10 miles before work today, my whole day is wasted. And I would look at people like that and think, what is wrong with them? Because that concept never would hit my head. And I tell my trainer, how do you get there? Because that isn't even on my horizon. And I can honestly tell you that even with a trainer and with workouts and exercises and everything that I've done, there is no such thing to me as that proverbial runner high. I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. I work out, I sweat, I hate it. I don't like it any better. And if I have to do it again tomorrow, okay, I have to do it again, but I hate it the whole time. It just has never hit me. So I'm coming to the conclusion that there's actually something wrong in my brain, which my siblings have been telling me my entire life, because I just don't ever experience that. I've never seen it.
And do you ever, just curious, do you ever feel glad afterwards that you did your workout?
This is the closest I can say I've come. Because of an alleged type A personality, I will not admit to that, but an alleged type A personality, there is a sense of accomplishment I get if I finish something. In other words, if I'm supposed to do 30 minutes on the elliptical, okay, I may feel like quitting at 20 or 25, but I'm going to finish the 30. And again, even though I've accomplished that, I get that sense of accomplishment. but it's no rush. It's exhaustion, and I'm sweating, and I'm tired, and I'm cranky, and it just doesn't happen to me. And I've, not like we need to run some science experiment to figure out why. I'm just sharing that in my experience, I've never seen that, and I don't like exercise.
Can I have another quick question? It's just out of interest, actually. Is it because you always push yourself to the point of fatigue? Where you like,
I can do that
cannot
with
do
the
1
table.
second more.
Say again, Tom?
I said I can push myself to the point of fatigue just by walking to the kitchen table. No, I don't know that that's the case. Although you make a good point. There was a point in college when I've never had a good exercise routine at all. My fraternity brothers, whatever, would say, "Hey, let's go do this. Go do that," and I would do things to a point of exhaustion, and then I wouldn't get out of bed for 2 days. Just, I'm not doing this. And even then too, they tried to get me into tennis, and I did play some football in high school, and the only thing that I ever kind of enjoyed was when I learned to play paddleball. Some of my brothers played squash, but we played some paddleball on the same courts, and I kind of enjoyed that. But you had to make the reservations, and you had to show up on time, and you had to have the right number of people, and it's like, you know what? That's a lot of work. I'm not enjoying this.
But there is something really important that you said there, and it's something that Martina and I are very strong, like real strong belief in, that you cannot, like it has to be something that you enjoy doing. Like life is too short to be freaking pounding the treadmill for 30 minutes and getting off angry. If you're ending up angry and annoyed, like that is not for you. You need to find something that is moving your body, but that actually leaves you with a feeling of accomplishment, but actually leaves you also with a feeling of, being glad that you did it. And you're not going to get that over, for me, Zumba. Like I love exercise. I love moving my body. I love fitness. But you get me into a Zumba class and I leave there pissed off and angry because I hate it. I just cannot dance for the life of me. I'm no good at it, and it always makes me really cross. And after 3 classes of going to it with my sister when I lived in Edinburgh, I was like, I'm not going back. I was like, it's just not worth it because it was making me too cross. And also, I find as well is that, I would be going to kind of like private training sessions, and if I felt that the trainer was pushing me too hard or wasn't listening to what I was saying and just kind of, trying to make me feel or trying to defeat me on purpose, that would also make me angry. It would make me really cross because it wasn't something I enjoyed. And so you just park that and you move on and you try something else. What is it? You got to just keep going until you find something that you enjoy doing. And Tom, it might only be that, it might be that you start walking like a small distance, and then the next day, go like 10 yards more, and the next day, 20 yards. Just start to move your body, because maybe the more you move your body, the more in tune you'll become with moving your body. And then it will lead down to a path in your near future where you'll look forward to going for a walk. It's like, it doesn't have to be anything massive. You just have to do it. And it has to be attainable, and it has to be realistic for where you are right now. And I think that if you are pounding for 30 minutes on the treadmill, for me as a personal trainer, that is the wrong workout for you. And if you're not enjoying it, it most definitely is the wrong workout for you.
Well, Well, I was just going to say, I have a sister who's a doctor up in Seattle, and she comes from the same gene pool and has the same body type, if you will. And she got on my case a year and a half ago, and she says, "You can still walk, can't you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." She says, "Well, then walk for 10 minutes at least every day." And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And then I went out and got the little Fitbit gadget. And I started walking, and last fall, whatever it was, I finished just before Thanksgiving. I had set a goal of 100 days of meeting the step goal as defined by this, which it ratchets up every day as you go through.
Mm-hmm.
And there at the end, I was doing something over 6,000 steps a day in doing this. Now, back to what I said earlier about accomplishing it. Whether I did the steps had nothing to do with my mental psyche about things. It was the fact that I had ratcheted another day in the 100-day goal. And when I hit the 100-day goal, I stopped walking. I got the goal. I was done.
Yeah.
And so I started that up again March with the goal of doing 100 days. But a couple of things have come up, and and now I got to go get some stupid surgery done and all that, so I can't do everything I was doing. So it's not that, how do I say this? You keep saying finding something I enjoy. Well, when you name something I enjoy, I'll do it. But I've never enjoyed exercise of any sort.
But I think Martina hit something there.
She did.
As soon as you hit your 100-day goal, you got to set yourself another goal straight away and keep going.
If that's what motivates you, yeah.
Rest until my joints stop aching, and then I'll start walking again.
Well, it's so funny because I did this Murph thing yesterday. So Murph is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats, and then another mile run. So at the gym that I'm at, I went there and I said, I want to do the Murph, but I can't run. I had injured my hip, and so running was not an option for me. So they said, okay, well you'll do 1,600 meters on the rower. And I said, okay. I thought, oh, a piece of cake. Well, it wasn't a piece of cake, but I did it anyway. And I'm sore today. And when I got done, I'm one of these. I'm not like you, Tom. There was this high. I had this huge high. I'd accomplished something, even though I felt like the puddle of sweat that I had created on the floor, And so, but there are people like my husband. He'd be like, I don't see why you do that. I saw the pain in your face as you were doing the push-ups. I saw the pain. And I broke it up too. I didn't do it the way they say to do it. I did it like I did sets of 10, where I did 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, and 30 squats. And then toward the end, it was like I even broke those sets up because I was so tired. Like you, he's working to find what works for him because he knows it's important. And for me, it's important that he's healthy because I don't want him to weigh what he did when we got married. That's unrealistic for him. But, finding what he enjoys, because then he'll do it again. And for you, it seems that having goals you are type A, whether you admit it or not, Tom. You are type A. And, but having a goal that you're going to accomplish seems to be what is, if you can say, fun or it's satisfying. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. Then that may be where you need to go. Of course, you need to stop dislocating your shoulder. That would be helpful. So he fell out of a boat.
We were pushing away from the dock for a fishing trip, and I lost my footing and fell. How far is my shoulder from the side wall of the boat? That's not that far, but that's all it took, and it ripped my shoulder out of its joint, and I got to go through some surgery, and life goes on.
And they will make you exercise too to get better from that surgery. So you will have you may want to really find some fun there because they will make you to get that back. But this was not meant to be a pick on Tom. Tom's such a good sport. He's with us every week. He joins me on the Zoom meetups. He's actually become my client. So I'm helping him grow his business through sales. But any last words, ladies? Thank you so much, by the way, for taking the time. I think fitness is such an important topic because it actually impacts our business. If we are feeling well, we will be able to accomplish the things we want to in our business, or at least have the energy and the strength to get through the stuff that comes up. So any last words, ladies?
No, I mean, we've really enjoyed it. We were talking before we came on. It was really lovely, and we kind of felt like that, you know, there was a really nice connection with everybody that was on the chat. So thank you so much for having us. Absolutely. And fitness and wellness, it's not just about your business, it's about your relationships, it's about how you feel with yourself, it's about your productivity, how well you sleep, how much energy you've got to do everything that you want to do out with your business as well as within it. And that's like, for us, is like, we're just so, I don't know, we're just so passionate about our journey to where we got to now, and that we just feel like if we can get here, anybody can, including you, Tom.
If that were a goal. Anna, just a side comment as we wrap up. If you go to section 5.1.6 in the book, and I wrote a book on leadership, and it covers 229 elements of leadership. 5.1.6 is physically fit. And so, you know, intellectually and all, I get it. And I'm on board. It's just when people say, well, you got to find the one you enjoy. So I don't like it. I think. Yes, I need to be more physically fit. But
it's one of your points.
Say again?
I said, but it's one of your points in your book.
Well, yeah, because again, I recognize the importance of it, and I haven't felt unfit, if you will, until recently. But you know, you get older and things are harder.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We do these meetups now every week after the USA Biz Party, and they're so much fun. We learn so much from each other. Thank you again, Martina. Thank you again, Lynn. And thank you, Tom, for joining. And John had to leave. Thanks again for being with us. We'll be back next week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All of next month is going to be about writing books. So the there's going to be a new topic every week about everything from writing to publishing to becoming a bestseller. So we're going to dig deep into those topics. Thanks again.
Nice one. Okay, thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Bye.